It's time to get lost in the midcard. This Believe in Pro Wrestling property is brought to you by Bet Online, the continued #1 source for all your sports betting needs. Join now and receive your 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit when you use our promo code BELIEVE. Now, here are Jeremy Bennett and Matt Black on the Believe Podcast Network.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the podcast where we only have genuine money here, no counterfeit bucks. It's Lost in the Midcard. Hola, welcome. Lots to talk about today. Our very own Matt Black at Dynamite and Rampage. We'll get his experiences of what he saw. A couple of great shows there. The debut of Collision. The return of CM Punk. More on CM Punk later. And just like that, Forbidden Door is on our doorstep this Sunday via pay-per-view. So we will only 4 matches announced so far, but we will give you our predictions for that and all that is announced so far. So welcome once again. If you haven't done so already, please go to our Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel, and that's BLEAV. Give us a subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that bell icon. That way you know every time we go live with this show every Monday, your unofficial, official Monday Night Raw kickoff show at 7 Eastern, 6 Central. And share us out. Share us out with everyone. Whore us out for us. We like being whored out. I'm your host, Jeremy Bennett. You can find me on the Twitter, JB Huskers, as always, my co-host. He is on the Twitter at RawF Showtime. It is Mr. Matt Black. Matt, how you doing?
What's up, man? It's been a day. Definitely having one of those mental health days, but I'm trying to get through it the best I can, and just here to talk some professional wrestling, try to put it all out of my mind for a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna do that here for the next hour. We're gonna talk a lot to talk about tonight. Of course, welcome to everybody in the chat. Good to see you guys here. Appreciate you guys all joining us live each and every week here and being involved in the chat. Of course, anything you want to talk about, any questions you have, anything you want to discuss, mention it in the chat here. And if you're listening on the podcast, on demand, whatnot, if you're ever free on a Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, join us live. That way you can be in the chat. And Mark Cho, I might be like whoring out, but don't put Matt out like that. Well, I'm going to put him out there. He wants to be hoard. Reminder on the Believe in Pro Wrestling YouTube channel. Recent interviews with Chris Statlander and Zoe Stark are up there now, and something brewing too. Rick couldn't tell me, but there's something brewing, so go check it out. Let's kick things off with some AEW talk. First off, obviously we had Collision that started Saturday. But before we get to that, let's talk about AEW Dynamite and Rampage, because our very own Matt Black was there. The home of the very first Dynamite, Washington, D.C. And Matt, how did you have a good time on Wednesday and Friday? Did you like what you see? What were your highlights and lowlights?
Dude, I was front row for the show.
I saw you on the open.
But yeah, best seats I've ever had for an AEW event. Last month I was second row in Baltimore, but I got front row for DC, and it was an incredible show. It was easily my favorite AEW event I've ever attended, and I think I only didn't like one match on like all of Dynamite and Rampage. So I was overly very thrilled with the show. I thought it was great. So,
where do you think the 30-minute Broadway between Adam Cole and MJF? Where do you think this goes from here with him not winning the Olympics?
I think they're gonna drag it all in, and I don't like it because this is I'm begging anybody from AEW that this might get to their ears or that might be listening.
Maybe Tony's watching.
Don't do the MJF hoop jumping storyline again. I don't want to see Adam Cole have to go through 5 or 6 opponents to earn his title shot. It's so overdone. He's done it with every freaking feud he's had over the past 2 years. It's tired and exhausting. Come up with something new. I feel like this is going to be dragged out to All In, but I'm hoping they go in a more original route than what they've done with MJF for the past couple of years, because to me, his in-ring work is great, his mic work is great, but his storylines are repetitive and tired, and he needs something fresh. He needs something to freshen the character up. I don't know exactly what that is off the top of my head.
Another dance
but
number.
It sure as hell isn't Adam Cole jumping through hoops for the next 2 months.
No.
Please don't do that.
No. Another dance number. That's what we all need.
Yeah, probably not.
Sammy Guevara coming out. Looks like we're trying to make him a babyface again. Darby actually kind of joked about that as well. The split of JAS with, Sammy's been with Jericho ever since the inception of AEW. So the split.
Well, there was a couple month period between JAS and Inner Circle where he wasn't part of the JAS,
but wasn't against them.
He joined that late. So,
yeah,
so there was a small period of time where they weren't aligned in the same group, but for the most part, they've been, attached at the hip for a while now.
But never been against Jericho. But it seems like the seeds are kind of being sown to make Sammy a babyface again. I think the crowd wants to make him a babyface again. Some people not realizing that's what they're doing and still booing him. But
I think him having a baby with Ty might have been the best thing that could have ever happened to his career.
Yeah,
because he kind of got the mixed reaction when he came out in DC. And as soon as Renee mentioned on the microphone that he was having a baby, the crowd kind of, oh yeah, yay, and they all shifted, in favor of Sammy after that. So I actually think him having a kid might greatly benefit him into shifting back as a babyface. It's kind of funny, but that's what it seems to be the direction that's going in right now.
And that's the kind of pro that Renee Paquette is. She realized, oh, maybe he's getting booed. That's not our narrative. Now we want to make him a babyface.
Yeah,
again.
It was definitely, he definitely got a mixed reaction when he came out. So, but it definitely shifted when Renee brought up the fact that he was having a baby.
There's definitely a mixed reaction to Jericho's heels that he was wearing.
Dude, what are those?
Wow,
dude, those were blinding. They were blinding, glittery, bright. Like they were. I guarantee you, the TV or in photographs and stuff did not do justice or how ridiculously glittery and shiny those freaking heeled shoes were. It was ridiculous. I don't know what that man's doing.
They were gaudy. And then we get a tease of possibly Sting and Jericho, which I'm all for. That's a legendary.
I thought we were getting it this week on Dynamite, and they went and shifted the match. So, the way it came across to me live, they were doing Darby and Sting against Jericho and Sammy this week.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden on Collision, they're like, nah, 6-man tag trolled you. And I'm like, wait, what? I'm worried that Sting might have gotten banged up in that trios match because he had that one spot with the one guy from Gates of Agony.
Yeah.
Where he did not, the guy, it's not Khan, it's the other guy. I always forget his name. I feel
it was
terrible.
An awkward collision that they had.
Yeah, Sting wasn't he wasn't correctly in the corner to take the move.
Yeah.
And the dude charged in and just clobbered him anyway. And he seemed fine in the match, but I'm worried he got a little banged up. And TK is like, well, we're not doing that match next week.
Steven Chambers in the chat, wonder when to do Jericho versus Sting. Maybe All In.
I don't think they're gonna do 1-on-1. I don't think Sting's interested in having a singles match. So they're gonna have to do it before Sammy breaks off from Jericho, or unless they put someone else with Jericho to do
that, or that's where Sammy officially turns on JAS and turns on Jericho and leaves him high and dry for a coffin drop scorpion deathlock. you could leave him high and dry, and that's how the
Yeah,
official.
I definitely think the finish. I definitely think the finish of the match is Sting tapping out Jericho to the Scorpion Deathlock. I don't think there's any. I don't think there's any other finish. Yeah,
Toa
yeah,
Leona, not
yes.
Tamatonga.
I even have trouble.
Toa
I even have
Leona.
trouble pronouncing it. That's why I forget it. But yes, he definitely
Fake
screwed
bloodline
up
guy.
that
There you go.
spot.
Mark Cho saying he's a fake bloodline guy.
That's not nice.
He's a counterfeit he's a counterfeit bloodline guy. Well, that led to the 6-man match that Matt talked about with 8-man match. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 8-man.
Sting, Darby, Keith, and Orange Cassidy against the Mogul Embassy. With the good guys.
It was a fun match. Besides the scare with Sting, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Jake Hager had a TNT title match for some reason.
This match sucked.
We'll get more into
so bad.
We'll get more into the TNT title later on, but Orange Cassidy getting interviewed. Zack Sabre Jr. shows up, mentioning Forbidden Door. Is that official yet? That's not official. So that's going to be a match that's probably going to be official
I'm assuming
on Wednesday.
We're getting Cassidy and Sabre at Forbidden Door.
Yeah. Battle of the TV guys.
It'll likely be announced at Dynamite on Wednesday.
Yeah. Or not, I guess he's not the TV champ. He's the international champion, which has been basically the second best men's title in the singles realm. We'll get into that in a little bit.
It's definitely the second title. Without question.
And then this Wednesday, Orange Cassidy and Shibata taking on Zack Sabre Jr. and who's his tag partner? I forget.
Shit.
Daniel Garcia.
Yes, Garcia, because Garcia is going after Shibata's pure title, so they're just merging the storylines together. And I wouldn't be surprised if they attempt to do a triple threat at Forbidden Door with Garcia, Orange, and Sabre.
Shit.
So Garcia's there to take the pinfall. I would not be shocked to see that turn into a triple threat of sort.
That would not suck.
Yeah.
Sky Blue, Tony Storm for the title. Short match there. No surprise.
I was very harsh on Sky Blue last week, but I will say
Mama Blue's going to come after you.
This match was much better than what I saw her do in Baltimore last month, and I really think as young as Blue is at this point, it will heavily depend on who she's in the ring with, because I don't think she can lead a match. And I think that's where things fell apart last month in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Because she was leading the match. I think if she's in there with someone who can lead her, I think she does very well. And I thought the match with Tony was very good.
Yeah, and she had a good showing on Collision too. So
yeah, I think as long as she's I think no, it was Collision. It was Collision.
Oh,
it was her and Willow against
Tony and
Ruby and Tony. But yeah, as long as she has someone to lead her in-ring work is good, and in time she'll learn how to.
Yeah,
learn how to lead a match.
She's what, 23?
But right now that's just not there.
Yeah, I think she's all at 23. So, 23. She'll be 24 later this year. Sonata, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, issuing an open challenge for Forbidden Door, answered by Jungle Boy. So good match. Obviously, we're not going to see title change hands there, but be a good match.
We might see the heel. We might see the heel turn,
like post match or something.
Yeah, I could see him blaming Hook for his loss, even though Hook didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, we all are expecting that.
And turns on Hook. I can absolutely see that happen at Forbidden Door.
Yeah, we're all expecting Jungle Boy to turn heel.
It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Watch it be Hook turning heel.
That'd
be Vince. Hey, you guys want this guy to turn heel, so we're gonna have this guy turn heel. That's Vince logic. Bryan Danielson coming out to commentary. That's always a good thing, as the BCC took on the Hung Bucks in a damn good match there. And Will Ospreay showing up. Man, that pop as loud in your ears as it was on TV.
Yeah, like everything about the main event was crazy, and the aftermath was crazy. Like I was I was the guy waiting for Kota Ibushi to show up, but
Yeah,
it was
I
Eddie.
thought it was going to
It was
happen, man.
it was Eddie Kingston instead, which the crowd still adored. So no complaints about Eddie being back on AEW programming. I'm imagining he's going to have a match at Forbidden Door because he's definitely
Yeah,
heavily involved with New Japan stuff in recent months.
yeah,
So
we'll have news on this later, but just announced for New Japan Strong Independence Day, it's going to be Kenta against Eddie Kingston. So that's going to be for the Strong Openweight Championship. That match will be friggin' awesome. That's going to be on July 5th, 4th and 5th. We'll get into that later on, though. Next week for Dynamite, as we just mentioned, Casting Shibata taking on Garcia, Zack Sabre Jr. The Hardys take on the Guns. Chris Statlander, Taya Valkyrie for the TBS Championship. Adam Cole speaks, baby. Jeff Jarrett, Mark Briscoe in a concession stand brawl. That'll be a lot of fun. Blind eliminator tournament for an AEW tag title shot. What is a blind eliminator tournament?
from my understanding, and everybody's taking this in different ways. I've read online. A lot of people aren't 100% sure what this means. What I think it means is that there's going to be a bunch of AEW tag teams in a tournament, but we're not going to see what the brackets look like until the first round is concluded. So we're going to have, random eliminator matches, and once the first round is done, we'll see what the brackets look like, so we'll know who faces who next. I think that's what it means. But I'm not 100% sure.
Steven Chambers in the chat. Any predictions on who FTR will face at Forbidden Door?
That's a good question. They might do something weird, and they might just face Bullet Club Gold. It might be them against Jay White and Juice Robinson. Like I'm not gonna roll that out. So yeah, I'm honestly not sure.
I would I'm trying to think of who's got matches and who don't yet. I haven't really kept up the best on New Japan to know who is tagging now. Even and you don't really need to have an established tag team. I mean, you could
I'm sure the original idea a month or two ago was FTR and Aussie Open.
Yeah, then
but that clearly can't happen now. So
yeah,
I'm sure they had a lot of plans for this show that can't, just like last year. Like I'm sure Aussie Open were gonna be working it. I'm sure Mercedes Moné was gonna be working it. It's just
it happened last year too.
Injuries happen and it freaking sucks, but there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, with Mark Davis going down, I don't know. I think he's out for a while too. You remember what he went down with? I can't remember, but it was.
I do not remember what the exact injury was, but Kyle Fletcher kind of implied that he wouldn't be out for too long.
Yeah, that's good.
So hopefully he'll be back by All In.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, there's guys like Ishii that aren't on the card yet. So
and he's working Dynamite on Wednesday, so he's going to be on.
I mean, it'd be cool to have Naito and have.
Or is he not working? No, maybe no, he's not working Dynamite until Wednesday. He's got to be involved somehow. They'll get Ishii on the show some way.
Yeah, I'd love to see. Man, Ishii and Kingston again would be fun if they did that.
I don't know if you want to go back to that well.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's an option if they want to. But I would prefer, fresh matches. I understand why for good reason why they're going back to Omega and Ospreay, but I would prefer some fresh matches out of the rest of the show.
I mean, Naito is not really. He wasn't in. Was he in Forbidden Door last year?
He was not. I know a lot of people hope he'll be this year, but
man,
I don't know who they pair him with.
Man, what about him and Takagi? They're both in Ganable Stage Japan. That'd be kind of fun.
They'd have to really set that up quick. I don't know.
That's the problem.
I'd rather see Naito in a singles match.
That's the problem. There's only 4 matches right now. It's
they've got 3. They've got 3 shows before Forbidden Door to put the card together now instead of just 2. So
that's a bonus.
Some people would describe it 1.5. So
Rampage, Matt was in attendance for that as well. Chaos United Empire, great match there. Got to see Trish Adora in action against Taya Valkyrie. Got to see Aubrey Edwards and Papa Briscoe in action. What'd you think of that six person tag?
Way better than it had any right to be. Just entertaining shenanigans.
and
And the right person lost. So I'm always here to see Karen Jarrett take the L. So
little figure four work there. I love seeing Papa Briscoe mix it up. You don't fuck with Papa Briscoe, man. And then of course you got a good main event in Takeshita against Bandito. So you got yourself 3 good hours of action there, and that was a hell of a lot of fun. Any final thoughts of your time in DC last week?
it's a great show. I got to meet Will Washington before the event. I saw him have a will call, and I'm like, I gotta stop and meet Will real quick.
Will at Will Call. You met Will at Will Call.
Yes,
okay.
I bet Will call. Very nice guy. He was very busy. Like I didn't want to keep him, and I know I was probably rambling. Yeah, he's a good dude. I'm very happy for him, and I think he's a big get for AEW.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be very
yeah.
beneficial to that company in many aspects in the years to come.
Fightful just did an article on him too, being the second ever non-wrestler to get the All Elite graphic. It's pretty cool story. Go check that out on. I don't know if that was a select article or if that was regular.
It was a clip from AEW Unrestricted last week. He was on the show with Aubrey talking about getting hired. So
let's go.
The story came from there.
Let's catch up on the chat before we go to a collision. MK in the chat. Jack Perry going to start losing title matches, play the long game with the heel turn like they did with Christian. And it'd be interesting because like we're seeing in NXT, Braun Breaker as a heel has been tremendous, and it's actually we got so tired of him as champion, and I think he's doing a hell of a job as a heel. I'm not tired of Jungle Boy as a babyface, but I think overall, in terms of just a development, seeing Jungle Boy be a heel is going to be a lot of fun to see. And it's not the Hung Bucks. Yes, I have not watched Being the Elite yet, but I did see the title of Being the Elite, so I get it.
I'm still going to call them the Hung Bucks. I don't care what Warner Brothers Discovery says.
Manny in the chat. Fightful was reporting that Vince has made drastic changes to Raw, including the open segment. Oh, well, sky's blue and the day ended Y. So, it could be blind for Santana and Ortiz. Mark Cho says that would be sweet, especially if they've made up.
That would actually be really great to see some surprise teams in there. Yeah, Santana and Ortiz would be massive. That would be a very big win for the AEW tag team division if they've gotten those guys back on the same page.
Chris in the chat, any change that we will see Willow versus Sky Blue for the title soon?
I sure as hell hope not. Sky Blue's had more than enough title matches as of late, and she doesn't need any more. Like, if you're going to establish her as an up-and-coming name, she needs to be winning matches, not losing them. And she's not going to be winning any title matches anytime soon. So I would keep her as far away from Willow in a one-on-one capacity as possible.
We kicked off with AEW Collision with CM Punk, of course, in Chicago. Big ovation. Punk kind of addressed a few things. Of course, talked about the old counterfeit Bucks line that got the internet talking. But
Meltzer's saying that line was approved.
Yeah, so
ahead of time. So
I
think AEW is very good at keeping kayfabe somewhat alive again.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, kayfabe was, absolutely dead, in every aspect of the thing. But I feel like some parts of AEW have resuscitated kayfabe, and they're bringing it back. And MJF's contract, I don't believe for 1 second he is not under a long-term deal. And the Elite and Punk saying that they haven't been able to sit down and talk things. I don't believe that. I don't believe that these two sides haven't talked. And because Tony Khan, as a boss, it's his responsibility to get these guys in a room, sit them down and say, hey, look, let's talk this shit out. Let's all act like adults here. So I don't believe the fact that they haven't really talked. I think this is a kayfabe thing, and I don't know when it's going to happen, but I do think eventually we are going to see a confrontation between CM Punk and the Elite, and it's going to be huge. And if I'm AEW, I'm doing it on the road to All In.
And we've been
Like,
saying,
I don't know if they're gonna do it then, but like that's when I would do it. Like I would do it in August,
yeah, and we've been
and I would
saying,
build up to the 6-man with CMFTR against the Elite.
all along that, you know, everybody's a professional, so you know, everybody's going to work like a professional. You don't have to be best friends or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the common themes of the promo opening up here was "Tell me when I'm telling lies." So that's just
Yeah,
Punk being Punk.
which he used the last time he was here. It's not like this
Yeah,
is a new line. I know a lot
no,
of people were harping on that this weekend, but like it's not. This isn't a new line from Punk. And honestly, to me, the only line of the promo that I had a problem with is when he said the people who felt that they were owed an apology, that they were softer than the wrestlers that they like. But here's the problem, Punk. Let's say this isn't kayfabe. Let's say this is all still very real, and the two sides can't coexist, and we're never going to see them working or whatever. Punk, you're still butthurt over a throwaway line from Adam Page almost a year and a half ago, and you haven't been able to let that shit go.
right.
So you're pretty fucking soft too, pal. Like, you know, I love Punk, but like that's a really hypocritical line based on something he's still, you know, so anal about that occurred, you know, well over a year ago.
Yeah, and like,
You got to learn to let shit go.
yeah,
And
like
I
him.
believe that they have. I believe this is all kayfabe. But if it's not, that's a really bad line on Punk's part because he needs to look in the mirror and realize that, you know, he's got a really fragile ego and he's really soft when it comes to people throwing insults his way.
Yeah, and MK in the chat, the Bucks reaction made me think they're about to do some business. Of course, the Bucks put on Twitter,
Agreed.
if it was 2018, we would have had a shirt made. But and so what'd you think of Punk's promo though, to open up?
I thought it was a fine promo. I left the promo feeling like I was expecting something more. I don't know what I was expecting, to be perfectly honest, but I felt I left the promo going I was expecting more.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm being too greedy in that sense, but I was left feeling like the promo kind of under delivered. So, not saying it wasn't good, but personally, I was expecting something more.
Yeah, and of course, you know, it started off with him taking the AEW cover off the microphone. That got some people talking too, like,
He did the same thing in WWE
Yeah,
before
he
he
did.
turned heel on The Rock. This is
Yeah.
not anything new. He's not doing it to disrespect the company or, you know, or all the crazy ass theories and stuff out there. He's literally done this before. You can go find it on YouTube. He did the same thing in WWE before he turned heel on The Rock.
Now I know
Same damn thing.
Now I know you're gonna agree with me with this, but why the hell did they put the TNT title back on Wardlow? Why? What are they doing with this thing? Now it's cool that Luchasaurus is now the new TNT champion. Big
Is it
surprise.
though?
Good for him. I mean, I've always
They
liked
should have,
Luchasaurus.
dude. If they wanted to do this, they should have just put the title on Christian in a ladder match.
They almost kind of did put the title on Christian because he was the one that raised the belt.
Look, if that's how they're gonna play it off, that Christian is the champion, like I'll buy in for the time being.
Only
But
because he wears a turtleneck.
every time Wardlow starts to build some momentum for his character, they throw the TNT title back on him, and that title is like an anchor around that man's waist. It is the worst thing to happen to Wardlow's AEW career was winning the TNT championship.
Like,
and honestly, I don't think Wardlow should hold another championship for at least the next year and a half.
The stuff
like
with Hobbs,
any title.
The stuff with Hobbs was hot, but then like after that, like he lost the title, then he got to Joe. Was it to Joe? And then he got it back, and then he loses it to Luchasaurus, and it's like
he lost it to Joe. Then Darby had it for a while, and Joe beat Darby, and then Joe lost back to Wardlow, and then Wardlow lost to Hobbs, and then Hobbs lost back to like it hasn't been good. Like the last time the TNT title was good was that 2-month run of Samoa Joe and Darby Allin. that window. The TNT title was cooking. But like I'm telling, like there's something that Wardlow plus TNT title equals disaster, and it's happened for him, every single time. I really hope that they don't put any title on him again anytime soon, because I think it's been detrimental to his build and to his character.
MK in the chat, Christian Cage is the TNT champion. Well, obviously he was holding the belt like he did win it. Wardlow needs a gun for the world title, slow and steady build. I think that's got to be a ways away. It's got to be a story that makes sense. I mean, they could have struck when the iron was hot with MJF, like way back in the day. But obviously the split happened sooner than later, and yeah, it's got to be the right pick. It's got to be the right story, the right time, and it's not going to be anytime soon. But next up, oh boy, hell of a match. Andrade El Idolo, Buddy Matthews. This was damn good, man. I enjoyed it. And of course, the crowd popping, the internet popping, because Andrade wins, as Steven says in the chat. Andrade wins with the figure 8. And of course, Buddy did, did Buddy do Riptide or in the match too or something?
He did the
he did one of Mommy's moves.
He did Ripley's cross-legged.
Oh, cloverleaf. The cloverleaf.
He did it. The standing backwards cloverleaf. I don't even know what the hell the move's name's called. But he did that first, and then Andrade hit the figure 4 and branched up to the figure 8. The moves were almost back to back to each other.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
that match was probably my favorite match on the show. Honestly, I thought
so
those
too.
two killed it. So
that was amazing. That was a great job by those guys. Good to see Andrade back. A lot of people coming back on Collision. It was good to see them back. Speaking of coming back, well, before we get to that, House of Black destroying Andrade. So Andrade coming as a babyface, which I think is a right move. I think Andrade can be a good babyface, and obviously we're going to get a killer match with Malachi Black somewhere down the line with Andrade. So in the end, we're going to have, I think, what is going to be a good feud. Who's going to step up to be even up the odds for Andrade? That's going to be kind of the interesting question. Maybe a Bandito. Who else do you think could step up, be on Andrade's side, do you think?
I don't know, because he seems like he's a babyface now.
Yeah.
And accordingly, Bandito apparently broke his wrist
on
Rampage. So
damn, that's not good.
I don't think we'll see
Scorpio
Bandito anytime soon. So yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure what the plan is there.
Man, Scorpio Sky mixing it up with House of Black would be a lot of fun.
I don't see Scorpio and Andrade on the same side. That doesn't scream tag team to me in any sense of the imagination. So
I want SCU back, damn it. Kaz, come back. I want SCU.
I don't like how SCU was used in AEW. I feel like they dropped the ball with that group big time.
Steven saying speculation Wardlow's contract is getting close to expire.
I haven't heard anything about that.
Yeah. I don't know. Oh, there you go. There's a good MK with a couple of good suggestions. Commander and Vikingo.
But that's only as far as I know. Neither of them are under AEW deal, so that's a temporary allegiance.
Commander's
Commander signed.
Yeah, he got the graphic.
Well, that's one. Yeah, it's okay. That's one out of 2 at least.
He got the graphic.
Okay, but yeah, they don't have Vikingo under a deal.
No, as soon as that AAA deal is over with,
I don't know what the fuck's going on with Roosh, but I can't foresee him coming back as a babyface.
No. Well, Roosh is still he's still kind of with Preston and their heels. So yeah.
Anybody can leave Preston behind in a drop of a hat. Like, let's be real here. No one cares about Preston Vance.
Andrade and the Lucha Bros. Yeah. Could do that. Mark Cho says in the chat. Speaking of returns, Miro, my God, does he look like he's built like a fucking truck?
I would like Andrade and the Lucha Bros if Lucha Bros weren't the current Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions.
Yeah,
I really don't think they should be.
No. They should be in AEW.
Strictly, yeah.
But Miro, man, how good did Miro look?
Dude, no, look, no one was happier to see Miro return than me. I love that dude. I've been missing him on TV for a while. I'm very glad that he's back. And yeah, I can't wait to see what they have planned for him. Like, he's definitely seemed like the baby face too. Like, everybody who returned on Saturday was a baby face. Andrade, Miro, Punk, they're all,
Because we
they
all missed them.
established them all as baby faces. So
We all missed them. Then the tag match we talked about earlier, Tony Storm, Ruby Soho took on Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue, and the Acclaim came out. They are expressing their desire to go for the trios titles. Tony Schiavone getting in on some scissoring. That was kind of funny. Then the main event was damn good. And damn good to see CM Punk back.
Damn good trios match.
Damn good to see him with his buddies FTR. Damn good to see Samoa Joe again.
I need Punk and Joe 101.
Oh,
man,
as
soon as humanly possible.
Every time.
As soon as humanly possible, I need that match.
Every time they went face to face, the crowd went fucking nuts.
So good.
We all
so good.
We all need this Ring of Honor rematch with these two Ring of Honor legends. So overall, like, I thought it was a great show, a Collision. Nothing earth shattering happened, but it was a great 2 hours of wrestling. I liked the commentary with Kevin Kelly and Nigel. Of course, JR admittedly had rough voice issues. That's probably why he only called the main event. He's saying he has announced he's going to step away for a bit. But overall, I liked Kelly and Nigel. What did you think?
I would say my only complaint is that Kelly needs to learn how to pronounce a couple of the wrestlers' names.
Yep. And
but I mean, that's part of being new on the job. So, like, other than that, I thought they worked really well together, and I think they're going to be a great commentary duo going forward for AEW. I still am holding out hope that Nigel's going to lace up the boots to step in the ring with Danielson and All In, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
That would be pretty cool. CM Punk and FTR got on the mic after Collision went off the air, and just kind of basically Punk basically kind of telling his story and hyping up the crowd to send them home happy. Looks like they talked for quite a bit too, so that's pretty cool. Forbidden Door is coming up here Sunday, June 25th. Only 4 matches announced right now, so we'll just talk about those 4 matches. Obviously, we'll give our thoughts about the pay-per-view next week here. Obviously, I don't really see 2 of the 3 are title matches. I think 3 of the 4 are title matches. I see 2 of the 3 retaining. One, I think, is obvious. MJF against Tanahashi. Is he even going to wrestle, Matt? Is he even going to wrestle Tanahashi?
Well, here's the thing. I pitched this online over the weekend. If MJF's not going to do this match, give us the match we were supposed to have last year, and do CM Punk defending the bag against Hiroshi Tanahashi.
That's right. I forgot about mentioning the bag.
Yeah, give us that match instead. So, like,
yeah,
that could absolutely be a direction they could go. If MJF no shows, give us Punk and Tanahashi instead, and I don't think anybody is going to complain.
No, not at all. Sonata and Jungle Boy. Obviously, Jungle Boy is not going to be your new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, I don't think. You don't think so, do you?
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't foresee any titles changing hands this weekend.
I think Ospreay is going to beat Omega.
I was going to say. Well, again, yeah. There's a chance Ospreay could beat Omega. That's the reason why that should go on last.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I know there's a whole lot of other championships on the line on that show on Sunday, but I believe the match that's the most likelihood of a title change happening should be the main event. So
that'd be cool if that's the main event, and then BCC comes out for a beatdown. Odds are kind of even, but BCC gets the and Ospreay get the upper hand, and then we see Kota Ibushi.
I'm wondering if the underlying issues between Ibushi and New Japan are the reason why he hasn't debuted for AEW yet. And they're actually waiting to bring him in until post Forbidden Door. which would make sense. So we'll see. But like, I feel like he's coming in. It's just a matter. That's another one of. It's not a matter of if. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. Chris in the chat, no women's matches for Forbidden Door. You think we might get one or two? Yeah, we'll probably get someone for Willow.
We'll absolutely get one.
Yeah, Willow's probably going
I
to take
hope we'll end
on.
up getting two. So
Yeah. Willow will probably take on Ruby or maybe even Soraya.
I do think we see Mercedes on Sunday.
Be cool.
I don't even know if it'll be in person, but like on the Tron or something, I feel like we're gonna see her on Sunday in some capacity. Like I'm not it's not guaranteed an in-person thing, but I think in some capacity we'll see her at Forbidden Door on Sunday.
We got some news on this guy right here, Mr. One Bill Phil. The latest after his return coming out from Fightful Select this yesterday or last night. As expected, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega were not in Chicago for a Collision on June 17th. And it's possible that they may not be in Chicago at all, which includes this week's Dynamite, which is going to take place at the Wintrust Arena. They're told there were pre-tapes done to progress some of the angles, but a good chance that they won't be at the arena. And that might be because CM Punk is going to be possibly on Dynamite this Wednesday, though not officially announced. So there's a possibility.
If Punk's going to be on Dynamite, they might want to get on the horn and announce that already.
Right?
Like it's kind of ridiculous that they haven't made that. If he's going to be there, freaking announce it. Sell some last minute ticket and bumps, guys.
No kidding, man.
Like it's a little silly that you wouldn't put that out there if he's going to be there. But I think it's in the Elite's best interest not to appear live in Chicago right now, because they're supposed to be baby faces within the company, and they're not going to be treated as such if you trek them out in front of a live Chicago crowd.
Oh, they're gonna shit on the Buck. They're gonna shit on them.
They did back in November before Punk even came back.
Yeah.
So it's just like
it's a smart move.
I think it would be detrimental to the Elite for them to be live in the rain.
Yep.
At Dynamite on Wednesday. I don't think there's any need for them to be there whatsoever. Like the only person you can make an argument to be there would be Omega. For Ospreay purposes.
Yeah, which
they might be able to get away with doing something with Omega, but I don't think the Bucks should appear on Dynamite on Wednesday.
Also, last night we got an update from Fightful Select on AEW's roster split and what happened. AEW has gone back and forth for the potential roster split. Tony Khan saying not as of now in recent interviews, and since we have learned, they have learned more about it. Preparations and details were sent out indicating that there would be two distinct rosters for Collision and Dynamite. However, special exceptions to be made, especially for champions. The move was met with mixed reactions internally. Several wrestlers were not happy that they'd be missing out on signings and independent bookings, which is something AEW has long looked at as a luxury. However, there were some happy that the move was to as an effort to minimize drama and backstage squabbles that we've heard about at the time. But originally planned for a hard split, some of the roster were told it would be a softer split before being told there would be more natural sharing between the rosters. WBD sources said they preferred no split, but under the right circumstances, anything could work. They were told that transfer portal trademark was supposed to be in relation to the brand split, but they've tabled that idea for the time being. Matt, I'm all for just a soft brand split, natural, just let things happen naturally, either if something comes up through internet or at a show, something like that. I'm perfectly fine with kind of separation, but at the same time, you could put someone on Wednesday if you need it. You could put someone on Saturday if you need it.
Yeah, look, there's no need. To me, what I would have done, the only 100% exclusives I would have done, I'm like TNT title is exclusive to Collision and Rampage, and the TBS title is exclusive to Dynamite. That's the only thing I would have done, just based on their title being on the network that the show's airing on. I would have exclusivized those championships. But other than that, I'm not exclusivizing anyone. And if I want to mix and match and I want to send people here back and forth between Wednesday and Saturday, I'm gonna fucking do it.
Yep.
Like there's no reason to lock yourself into that point, because we see it every Monday or Friday on social media. When somebody shows up on Raw or SmackDown that's on the other brand, everybody loses their mind. It complains about the brand split.
Yeah.
So AEW attempting a brand split, then immediately going against it would just garner the exact same results. I'm glad that they're not. I'm glad that they're not doing it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I was digging around on the internet and I found this great fake graphic right here, for Forbidden Door, CM Punk and Kenta. A great one there. Kenta recently tweeted a couple days ago and said Kenta versus Punk is never going to happen. Where's your bullshit detector at on this one, Matt?
I don't know, man. Well, look, if it doesn't happen this Sunday, I believe Kenta, it's never going to happen. It's never going to if it doesn't happen on Sunday, it's not going to happen. If Punk's facing Tanahashi, it's not going to happen there. It's not going to happen, period. So, like, I don't know.
Man, if Kenta shows up Wednesday to Dynamite, woo, while Punk's talking, and lays him out with a GTS.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. Like, to me, you got to have Punk at Forbidden Door.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
he's got to be there. He's got to be working a match. Like, but if it's not Kenta, then to me it's got to be Tanahashi, and you just let MJF have the show off. Who freaking cares? Like,
yeah, man, that would
it's not that big of a deal.
That would instantly create heat for Sunday if Kenta laid out Punk with a GTS in Chicago. That would just put the excitement for Sunday way up there for me, man. That'd be great. Of course, we had our debut of Collision this Saturday, but Tony Khan discussed if there was ever consideration for Ring of Honor going to be on Saturdays, and talking with John Pollock and Brandon Thurston for Post Wrestling, Tony said not for TNT. I think the idea of 2 more hours of AEW is very appealing. And what it meant was AEW Dark and Dark Elevation would be coming to an end, at least for now. But in terms of Ring of Honor, he said not for TNT. So while, I don't know, man, it's especially as annoying as I get every time I open up the Ring of Honor app, I would like to have them have a TV deal. But do you think
I don't think Warner Brothers Discoveries has a whole lot of interest in the Ring of Honor brand. Like,
yeah.
I don't honestly, I don't blame them.
And
because
is there interest? Is there a lot of interest with it being behind a $10 a month? Where it doesn't even include pay-per-views. I mean, what are we doing with Ring of Honor right now is what I'm kind of wondering.
I don't know. Like, to me, look, I know I know they're gonna say it's not, but to me, it's Ring of Honor's AEW's developmental brand.
NXT.
It's NXT.
Yeah.
And then I'm happy Ring of Honor's still around. I'm happy people have a place to work. I think that's cool. It's nice to see the legacy of Ring of Honor continue on. But let's call Ring of Honor what Ring of Honor is now. It's AEW's NXT. That's all it is. But and to be fair, before NXT was a thing, Ring of Honor was WWE's NXT.
Yeah, basically.
They took so many talents.
Tyler Black,
from Ring of Honor and turned them into household names. Oh, we could go on forever. So, like, in reality, without being associated, Ring of Honor was WWE's NXT before NXT was WWE's NXT.
It was nice when it was on Sinclair and you could at least DVR it, even though you didn't know what time it'd come on. At least DVR would pick it up eventually. It was nice to have it somewhere, but that app just pisses me off every time I try to open it. So, this guy, we've been talking about this guy lately a lot because his contract was coming up, but it's been official and not really much of a surprise. But Moose has re-signed with Impact Wrestling, and Moose says it's the longest deal in company history. Which Matt got all choked up about it. He did not go into details, but the deal is done. And of course, he's been with TNA and Impact since 2016. Former world champion, former TNA world heavyweight champion, and Impact world champion, 2-time grand champion as well. Of course, we talked about this on the show last week. The iron was hot in 2016, not as hot for Moose 7 years later. So I think Impact was probably the best move for him to make, right, Matt?
Yeah, and like he said it on Bobby Fish's podcast last week. Is one of the main reasons he stayed with Impact when he's had offers from elsewhere is that he's a shy guy and he doesn't want to go to a new locker room and have to make new friends.
Oh, man.
So, like, it makes sense. Look, if you got the good money opportunity and you're comfortable there and you're happy there, why leave? Who cares? Good for Moose. Good for Impact. So,
we have not gotten the Raw rundown yet from Sean Rossett, but I see a spoiler that's nice, and there's a hint somewhere on this screen that you saw for 2 seconds, if you know what I'm wearing. Finally, wrapping up the news here with Independent. I like that logo. That's a pretty kick-ass logo. New Japan Strong, Independence Day, 2 days, July 4th and 5th at Kurokan Hall. I probably butchered that name, but oh well. Some great matches set up here for these 2 days. And on July 4th, night 1, TJP and Akira, the junior heavyweight tag champions, they will defend their belts against Drew Maloney and Clark Connors. Moxley is going to team with Homicide to take on El Desperado in Jun Kasai. Of course, this is going to set up night 2 when Moxley takes on El Desperado in a final death match. The Strong openweight tag titles are on the line in night 1 with Goto and Yoshihashi taking on Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd. Kingston and Rocky and Romero will team up to take on Kenta and Gato. That'll be a fun one to watch. Tom Lawler's in action. Lance Archer is in action. And then night 2, of course, will be the main event of the graphic you just saw. Kenta and Eddie Kingston for the Strong openweight title. The death match with Moxley and El Desperado. Yoshihashi and Goto will take on Coughlin and Gabe Kidd for the IWGP Tag Team titles. Tanahashi, Ishii, and the DKC are going to take on Lawler, Jarrell Nelson, and Royce Isaacs. Lance Archer and Alex Zane going to team up to take on Bad Dude Tito and Fujita. Also in action will be Romero with Yo, Clark Connors, JR Kratos, Homicide, and much more there. So a nice looking 2 nights shaped up for the Independence Day show for New Japan Strong. Well, it is almost time to get to Monday Night Raw. We do not have much yet in regards.
It's impossible to get rundowns anymore when Vince McMahon
changes everything,
changing shit up every week. So
if you want to discuss anything, we got about 5 minutes left. Let us know in the chat what you want to discuss. But there is a possible return that may make all of us excited tonight. Braun Breaker is in Cleveland. That's probably no surprise because, of course, Braun Breaker.
You have to properly set up tomorrow's match. You have to hope that you can get Raw fans that watch
Tuesday
tonight will tune into NXT tomorrow. And without Breaker on the show, I don't think you have a very good chance of pulling that off. So, yeah, I think this is a good call. I think Breaker should come out and attack Rollins after his title defense.
Yeah.
No matter who it's against after Rollins wins, I think Breaker should attack Rollins and lay him out. Like, give people a reason to want to tune into NXT Tuesday night.
Exactly. Pop that Tuesday rating. Tommaso Ciampa possibly is what we're getting at. Obviously, it's in the chat. So,
the rumor is they want to do Ciampa and Gargano against KO and Sammy at SummerSlam. So if that ends up happening,
oh shit,
that could be very, very good. So,
pal, If not Gargano or McDonough in the open challenge, Carlito. Maybe because Carlito has canceled a lot of his indie appearances, which makes us think possibly that hiring freeze might be finally done in WWE. So
I'd love to see Carlito and Rollins at some point. I don't think we're getting it tonight. I do think we're going to get Gargano, like unless Vince X'd it.
What do you mean, pal?
You cannot roll out the idea that Vince saw Johnny Gargano versus Seth Rollins and said, "Brah, we're not doing that shit." I'm not rolling that out. So
MK in the chat, Owen Cup winner, Hobbs Starks or someone from New Japan.
I don't think anybody from New Japan.
We don't know the whole field yet either, do we?
You can't roll out the possibility of Jeff Jarrett.
Oh, that would be sweet, actually, to be honest with you.
As Owen's last tag team partner.
I would like that, honestly.
I can't roll out Jeff Jarrett, or at least seeing him going far in the tournament, maybe even as far as the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see Hobbs and Starks in the finals. I think that would be a great finals match. They've had, great matches against each other before. Their lights out match at Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Last year was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But
it was a good feud.
I don't know. I don't know if the winner of the cup has been announced yet. But Hobbs or Starks are not bad choices. Like, no. I would not be upset by either one of those guys winning this tournament.
Isn't it kind of funny how Hobbs' stock has gone up more than Wardlow's lately? And he's got QT Marshall with him, for crying out loud, and his stock.
QT ain't the anchor that the TNT title is on Wardlow's waist.
Nope.
I'm telling you, Wardlow, I know they're going to continue his feud with Christian and Luchasaurus, but they need to figure out a way to end it without him getting that title.
Oh my God. If he wins that title back, I'm going to throw up my hands.
It would be very, very bad for Wardlow's long-term career for him to go and win that title back.
Oh man,
Wardlow plus TNT title equals no go.
That'll hurt my head if that happens again. My God. We are 3 minutes away, less than 3 minutes away from Monday Night Raw, so we're gonna bid you adieu. And any final thoughts going into this Forbidden Door week, sir?
No, I'm looking forward to the show. I think it's gonna be good. If I've seemed off my game tonight and stuff, I apologize. It's been a pretty.
I think
it's been a pretty rough day for me, and I've done everything I could to, not let it show.
You've done
the air.
You've done an excellent job tonight, sir.
Thank you.
Excellent job tonight. Follow us on the Twitter at Raw F Showtime at JB Huskers. I'm gonna be home tonight, so I will be live tweeting Raw. Just check us out as we live tweet, have a little fun. Hopefully I can get myself a little I did not wear this on purpose either. I had no idea because that dropped before I put this shirt on, so I honestly did not have any idea. That was just a blind luck on my part. But follow us on the Twitter. Make sure you go to Believe in Pro Wrestling's YouTube channel. Rick Ucchino has some fresh interviews with Zoe Stark and Chris Statlander on there, and one on the way, which we cannot mention quite yet. So make sure you check those out. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you know when we go live every Monday, 7 Eastern, 6 Central, as your Raw kickoff show on Officially Official. And, of course, SB3 and Rick when they go live in the afternoon later on this week. For Matt Black, this is Jeremy Bennett. Thank you for tuning in to Lost in the Midcard, brought to you by Bet